Hi, and welcome to another episode of Women with Good Chat. I'm here with my good buddy Pam.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good today. Much better than last time. Last time we were talking about my knees and everything else, but better today.
Excellent. So I'm going to launch right into it.
Absolutely.
I want to talk today about kind of a 50, 60-year-old peer pressure situation. So we always sort of dealt with peer pressure back in the day, you know, when you're in grade school, high school, and going on. And now it's kind of the same thing. So it's more about if you feel a certain way about something, you want to stay true to yourself and do what you want to do and not feel like you have to succumb to what your friends want you to do all the time or what your family wants or your children, work situations, whatever it is.
Absolutely.
So what do you think, Pam?
Well, what I think about that is there's kind of two pieces to that. I think the first of them is simply breaking the habit, which I think a lot of us have got into for the majority of our lives, which is just always either thinking about what other people want first or constantly trying to be a consensus builder, right? So that, you know, there's a group of people you're dealing with, different opinions about what people want to do, and you're the one who's trying to end up coming up with some sort of middle solution. And I think that becomes a habit. And I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, but what it often means is that your opinion, what you want to do, what would really be the most fulfilling for you gets lost in all that. And I think if you have a whole lifetime of that, probably many of us have certainly since we had children or we're in a partnership, it just becomes a way of being. And I think it eventually starts to wear that you figure out, hey, I'm doing all these things, but they're not actually what I want to do. And I'm constantly the one compromising. I'm constantly the one, you know, not giving in, but in a sense giving in. Yes, in a sense giving in.
It's a lot about, you know, you go along to get along.
Yes,
and,
yes.
You know, the mother figure, the central part of the family often does. And it is kind of a conciliatory type of thing. And I think, yes, I do agree. Sometimes that is good. And sometimes we, you know, have to be the grown up in all these situations and kind of steer the ship and go along to a degree. But this came up in conversation with our friends the other day. And it was about, and it's something that affected me recently as well. And that was going to an event and participating in the event, doing all the stuff, all the things, but the fact that we weren't staying the night, staying over was a bit of a big deal. And so one of our friends said, hey, something like that happened to me. And the way that I deal with it now is I go, I have fun, and I stay for an appropriate amount of time, and then I'm out. And I think that, you know, it is important to participate in things. But it's okay when you have done your rounds, you've talked to everybody, you've done your thing, and you want to go. You should be able to go and not feel bad about it.
Absolutely. And I think that is coming from, I hope with you, kind of that inner strength that we're getting, understanding that if that's what we need to do, then we should be entitled to it. We have the strength to do it, but also in the long run, that's what's sustainable. It's really not sustainable to be constantly overriding our own needs, overriding our own wants, right? It's not a sustainable position. You either end up exhausted or you end up resentful or you end up like sometimes I feel, which is that I have difficulty even identifying what my own wants are, right? Like, what exactly do I think about this? What exactly is my position on that? Because I am so used to filtering in what I think everybody else's wants are, desires are, what they like, what they don't like. There's this mismatch of things. But where my particular wants or needs or desires are in that, often even become difficult to ascertain. So I don't think it's sustainable, right? I don't think it's sustainable.
Absolutely. And when you talk about stress and mental health, holy cow, there's a lot going on in there.
Yes, absolutely.
Juggle all these things and make sure everybody is appeased and happy and has what they need. And then at the end of the day, you're not necessarily getting what you need and want. Now, that sounds a bit dramatic, so I don't mean it like that, but it can be a lot of mental gymnastics that one goes through to figure out how to manage all this. And then, all these things, it's like a house. You're building up these bricks of stuff that is annoying and frustrating, and you're not really telling anybody about it. You're just, you're keeping it in.
You're in autopilot.
Yeah,
right? We're in autopilot about the way we have operated in the past. And I think we've talked about this a few times before. I think one really important thing to do when we are at periods of our lives, which we're talking about now, transitions, new things, new places, is we've really got to stop and ask, do the habits that we've developed at other times in our lives, do they serve us now? Mm-hmm. Right? We don't have to be critical about those habits. We don't have to be regretful. They might have been there for a reason. When you've got, 3 kids and you got to get this done and you're doing X, Y, and Z, it may have had to be the time. But is that serving you now? Is that still the case? And oftentimes when I re-examine my habits, I think, you know what? Those habits are not serving me now. My situation's different. I'm different. I don't have the energy. I don't have the time all the time, right? In terms of a long runway to where I want to get. So they're not serving me anymore. So let's think about changing those up. But that's that's got to be a very conscientious thought and
definitely
and work at it.
Yeah. And it's also goes back to, again, we've touched on this a few times already, is that the self-reflective part of your life is kind of now. And
absolutely.
looking in, examining habits. So I will look at the good and bad things that I see myself doing. And I now, which I've never really done before because I was always just zooming ahead, is, relax. It's okay. Like, this is okay. That's okay. Don't get so stressed out about that. It's okay if you want to do this. It's okay if you don't want to do that. But maybe try this. Because sometimes I'm a little afraid to try things. So it really is time in our life where we have the power and strength, I think, because of all our experiences, that we can make some good choices there.
I think that's really true. And I think we also have to be aware, although, we talk about wanting to keep up our physical resilience, wanting to keep up our mental agility. We do have to just watch how much we're drawing down some of that stuff. Right? We can't be going to the well like we were in our mid-20s, either for physical energy or, I think, mental and emotional energy. Right? The well's maybe not as deep. And if we want to be really conscientious about what we're doing with that energy, then we've got to do that. We've got to be conscientious about it. We can't be defaulting to systems that aren't helping us. So,
and again, this is, when you have your group of friends, whether it's a couple of people, a whole bunch of people, we can also be mindful of this happening to our friends too. And maybe just chime in and say, hey buddy, maybe give yourself a break, or do you need to have a 5-minute chat or whatever. Sometimes it's good to remind people also in our circle and around our circle that it's okay to make your own decisions and to, be empowered by that.
Yes,
right?
Absolutely. And I think that it leads into, why, again, it is such a passion project of ours to be doing this show, to be developing a community of women our age with like-minded ideas, to be a support. And hopefully, through chat, and through discussing these things, we are going to help people find that strength. Because sometimes it's very lonely, right? Sometimes it's lonely. And very counterintuitive to be saying, hey, you know what? Actually, I don't want to do that. And I'm just going to say no to that invitation or no to that way of doing things. It's not easy.
No,
right?
It's not.
It's not easy.
It's not easy. So, and again, like you're saying, that's why we wanted to start this open dialogue, this forum, to support each other, to support our friends, and to support you, our new friends.
Absolutely.
And on that note, we'd really want to thank everyone who's tuned in so far and all the great support and encouragement that we're receiving. We're getting lots of great comments, and it's very exciting. We really want to be able to reach out to you, and we want feedback from you. We'd love to hear from you because we really care about women, and we want to support everybody.
Absolutely. And so if there are things that we're talking about that you find interesting, let us know. If there's other things you want us to talk about, other things that are coming up for you, or that you really just feel like perhaps you're dealing with alone, please put them in the comments, and we will, if we've got anything intelligent to say about it, or if we think we've got anything intelligent to say, we'll give it a shot.
We're our biggest fans. We have to be. So drop a comment below and let us know. We'd love to hear from you. And again, we really appreciate your support, and we look forward to seeing you next time on Women with Good Chat.
Take care.
See you later.